Hey you guys, Yulia here. So today I wanted to show you a quick video on all of the native plants that are blooming in the garden right now. I know we are coming to an end of the gardening season, and I think it's important to have those late season pollinator plants for all of the beneficials out there. So I'm sitting right next to this whitewood aster, or Eurybia divaricata, and it is one of my most favorite native asters to grow. It's very easy. It will probably grow anywhere, in a dry location, a dry shade, in a sunny location, and they bloom for a very long time. So it has been blooming already for a couple of weeks, and it will go on all the way until November. It is covered in bees right now, and the foliage also provides a lot of shelter for beneficial insects throughout the season. It is very easy to start from seed or from starts. There's one downside to this plant. It does reseed in the garden. So if you want to avoid having whitewood aster everywhere, which I do not mind, it's just such a beautiful plant, you could just cut the seed heads once they form, and that will control the plant. So this is the patch that I started originally, and I think I planted about 5 or 7 plants, and they spread all throughout the garden, which again I do not mind, because look at the bees. And just look at how beautiful the flowers are. So when they just open, they have this yellow middle, and then it turns kind of purplish. They also look really well in bouquets. By the way, there is another beautiful native plant right here. This is Christmas fern. It's a very nice looking specimen. And Christmas fern in my zone actually stays evergreen. I will cut the fronds around March time to refresh it. But just look at that combination. It's not so pretty. Because it reseeds itself, it kind of makes its own plant combinations, like this one right here with Hakinakalawa. I think this is so pretty with the textures. And here it is in 100% full sun, right next to the Phlox Franz Schubert in the health strip. As you can see, it does really, really well. Here it is again, and it made a lovely combination with this iris and the Calamintha nepeta. This is a sweet combo that it made with the salvia right here and echinacea. There's another cool native plant that is starting to bloom right now. This is Actaea racemosa, chocoholic, or bugbane. It has darker foliage, and the flowers are absolutely exquisite. This plant is about 3 years old. They are very slow to start. You will wait for years before this plant does anything. And in fact, I planted it here just to try it out. I would normally plant like 5 to make a really nice display of this plant. And this is a chelone. I planted it here a little over a week ago. It is happy so far, and I really love those cool looking flowers. This is a Euchera Autumn Bride. As you can see, bees love it as well. And I absolutely adore this Euchera. First of all, it is a larger specimen than the other Eucheras that we plant in our gardens, and it blooms at this unusual time of the year in the fall, and it feeds late season pollinators. The foliage looks like this, and it is decorative pretty much all year round. It stays evergreen for me here in the Zone 7, Northern New Jersey, and it turns a beautiful kind of a burgundy color for the winter. Here we are in the woodland garden, or what I'm trying to make a woodland garden again, and there are 2 plants that are dominating the space right now, which is a snakeroot and a sky blue aster. And I just adore this plant. As you can see, the pollinators love these plants as well. So I planted, I would say 5 or 7 plugs here about 7 years ago, and this plant took over. It is an aggressive self-seeder, but it is easily controlled by pulling the seedlings in the spring, or you can also cut the seed heads in the winter. However, I do like to leave seed heads. They are very popular with birds. So I have these flocks of birds come in and just strip these plants from the seed heads. But it's just overall a very beautiful, very graceful, really tall plant. They can get as tall as 5.5 feet to 6 feet tall. There's another aster I absolutely adore, and this is a heart-leaved aster. And this one is actually slow to start. I've had this one poor plant here for 2 years and hasn't done anything. It blooms with these beautiful, dainty little flowers that I love so much. These are not as long-lasting as the whitewood aster, but I absolutely adore this plant in the landscape. Here's another view of the sky blue aster. I mean, isn't this so pretty? And everything else that you see here is snakeroot. I know a lot of you guys were worried last weekend when I pulled out a whole row of snakeroot and I planted Nepeta instead of that. But as you can see, I left plenty for the pollinators. And it is a beautiful plant. Here it is right here together with the sky blue aster. But again, very aggressive self-seeder, and the one thing that you can do is just cut the seed heads after they're done blooming. This way you can control it. It is also easily pulled out by the root. And here's another adorable little aster. This is a heath aster, and they have these tiny flowers. And it is just starting to bloom. As you can see, all of those buds will be covered in flowers. It looks like a cloud when it's in full bloom. And this little plant is about 2 years old. Again, very slow to start, but once they get going, you get those seedlings and you will have these puffy clouds all throughout your garden. Gastic is still going strong. This plant has been blooming for months now, always covered by pollinators. This is the Blue Fortune variety. It's about 2 to 3 feet tall, and it loves a sunny spot, sunny and dry, poor soil. Another native plant that has been blooming for months is this wild quinine. It is just so pretty. It kind of reminds me of an oversized yarrow, but it is nowhere near as aggressive, and it's just such beautiful flowers, great in bouquets too. A couple of bee balms are still blooming. I planted these a couple of months ago, and they had their first flush of blooms, which I deadheaded, and as you can see, they're blooming again. So these are just a few of the native plants that are blooming in the garden right now. There are so many more that you can incorporate in your gardens, especially the aster family. The aster family plants right now, this is their time to shine. There are so many different varieties, from short to tall, different colors. And I just want to let you know, if you're new here, I am someone who is not a native purist. I love to grow exotic plants, but I also adore native plants, and I try to incorporate them as much as possible. My quota is usually a minimum of 50% of native plants together with exotic, non-invasive species. So if you are just like me, who loves to grow exotic plants that are non-invasive, but also in love with native plants, this is the place for you. You are safe here, and I will be showing more videos with other native plants that I have in my garden or I incorporate in my clients' gardens that are so beneficial for our ecology, for all of the critters out there. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this short video today and learned something new, and I will see you in the next one.